Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to upload a file, like perform CRUD operations for a file, create, read, update and delete to iCloud in Flutter iOS. So let's get started. As usual, you would require macOS for this, and this is only for iOS, and you would also require a paid Apple developer account. I'm using my friend's account. So yeah, that's another important thing. So I have just created a sample basic Flutter project. All I have done is that I have imported this Flutter services import. Then just scroll down, and here you have to create this my home page, which extends a stateful widget. And here I have created a method channel, and the method channel name is iCloud platform. Now this will help us to communicate with native code. For iOS side, we need to write some native code, because at least at the time of me recording this video there is no third-party library available for this. And here I have taken some variable called text. So whenever I have four methods, right, so whenever I receive some return type or a callback from those methods, I will just assign it to this particular variable. So first, inside our build I have just taken scaffold, safe area and a column widget. Inside column we have four buttons and one text element as well. So first one is a text button. Okay, and as you can see, it is a create button, so it will create a file, and we are just invoking a method. So you will have to write a method with same name on native iOS side as well. And this is the text I'm passing. You can just pass whatever text you feel like. So I want to create a file which will save this particular text, and whatever data return type I get, I just assign it to a text variable. Next, for read, so I just invoke a method called read. Whatever data we get, we just assign it to our text variable. Similarly, for update, we create a method called update, and we just update the title. So here I'm just saying by coding with nobody, and whatever data we get, we just update it inside our text variable. And similarly, here we have this delete as well. And as you can see, once I get this data, I just assign it to a text variable as well. So yeah, this is for delete. And next I just have a normal text element where I'm just passing the text, and this is the style for our text element as well. So text style. So yeah, that's it. Next, you need to go to your Flutter project. Go to the iOS folder and double click on this .exe workspace. It will open it for you in Xcode, so something like this. First you will have to go to your runner and go to sign in and capabilities. Make sure you have selected proper team, and here I'll just change the bundle identifier. Now the bundle identifier is very important, so I will use something like this, com.coding with nobody. Now this is just a sample app, that's why I'm writing Flutter. Typically you should not write the framework name inside your bundle identifier. So Flutter file upload, just for convenience sake. Okay, next you will have to go to click on this plus capability button, add iCloud, and you will have to check all these check boxes. Click on this plus button as well, and here just type iCloud dot your bundle identifier. If there is any extra spaces, make sure you delete that as well. Just click on OK. Now it is updating our provisioning profile, so let it do its thing. Then come to app delegate. So here is your app delegate inside runner. Scroll at the top. Firstly you will have to import CloudKit. Then over here we need to create our database first. So here we need to write the same container ID which we have just created. So in my case it is iCloud dot whatever was my bundle identifier, and I'm using private cloud database. One more thing, the user must be sign in into their iCloud to use this feature. And like once a file has been created for a user, it cannot be visible to some other users. That's why I'm using private cloud database. Second thing is, I haven't added that particular check, but maybe you can see how to check whether the user is already signed in into iCloud. Yeah, next, this method was present by default, so all this code was present by default, and you should see one more line, this particular line. So in between these two lines you will need to write this particular code. So first we get hold of our Flutter view controller, then we create a Flutter method channel with the same platform name, which we have defined it on the Dart side. So over here, okay, so here I have created that method channel. Then here we are listening for this create method. Again, like I said, the method name is same what we have defined over here, same for other methods as well. So first for create, and we are getting the title which you have sent it from Flutter side. Okay, then here we call this particular method, and here instead of this you can just pass your title. Now here I have defined this method at the bottom, which I will show you shortly. And once we get the result, we just return it back using the result variable. Okay, and in case if there is any error, we just write this Flutter error thing. Then there is this read method. Again, we just read from cloud. Again, I have defined this method, and once we have the content, I send this result back to Flutter side with the help of this result. Then update method, again we just get the title which you have sent. Then here instead of hard coding this, we can pass it like this. Again, this method I have defined at the bottom, which I will show you shortly. And once we get the result, we just send it back to Flutter side, and in case if there is any error, we send the error back as well. And in case of delete, again we just call this delete file from iCLOUD, and whatever data we get, we return it back to Flutter side. And in case if the user does a typo or write some other method which has not been defined, this else clause will get called. Okay, I think this should be present by default. Then here is our create file in cloud. Now be careful with this particular thing. So suppose here you can see I have defined the file name as my textfile.txt. You can give it whatever name you feel like. Suppose if you press the button twice, it will create two files with same name. So you will have to be extremely careful. Like most probably you will create this programmatically and not allow the user to create it. But if you are allowing the user to create it, then you should maybe add a check whether if this file exists or not. I have not added that check, but maybe yeah, you can do the same. Then here we get hold of our file manager. Then we write the contents to our file URL. Then we create a CK asset, CK record, which is part of iCLOUD, and here we assign that asset to a record file. Then we just do database.save, pass the record to it. In case if there is any error, we do completion as false. Otherwise, once file is saved to iCLOUD, we do completion as true. And in case of catch clause, we do completion as false as well. Then here we do read file from cloud as well. Here is our CK query. The record type is of file storage. The predicate is ns predicate value true. And here we just do database.fetch with query, passing our query in zone as nil, desired keys as file, and result limits as 1. And here we get our result. Here we get our query cursor as well. Then we just do switch result. If it is success, then we get the first result out of it. Then we get the record file out of it, and then we get the file URL out of it. Then we just convert it to string, and whatever is the content has been read from the file, we just pass it to our completion handler. In case of any error, this is how we are handling it. Then updating file in content, again we create a CK query. Then we fetch the file with the help of this particular query. Then here is our success. This is the file name. This is temporary. Okay, then here is our file URL. We write the contents to our file URL, and we assign or update the file which we have already created and save it to our database. So in case of success, this will get called. In case of error, these all things will get called. Okay, then delete file from cloud. So here is our CK query again, passing in the file storage. Here is our predicate. Then we just do database.fetch, passing our query, desired keys as file, result limit as 1. And in case of success, again we get the first result out of it. Then we just do database.delete, pass the record to it. And once in case if there is any error, we do completion as false. Otherwise we do completion as true. In else clause, completion is false as well. In case of failure, completion is false as well. So yeah, I think that should be it. Now what we do is we just make sure you run it on a real device. I think it will work on simulator as well, but just to be on the safer side, I just run it on the real device. And in the meantime, you will have to go to icloud.developer.apple.com. So I'll just go there as well. Okay, so once you have signed in into icloud.developer.apple.com, you will see something like this. You will have to go to CloudKit database. Let's just wait. Okay, I need to run my application again. I'll quickly run my application again on my iPad. In the meantime, here you will have to select development, and here you can see that Here you can see this is Flutter file upload, so you will have to select your own bundle identifier or container ID which you have created. Then for our case it was private database, so I'll just select private database. And if you see record type, there is no record type of file storage, so we'll have to go to our app and we have to click on create. So I'll just have clicked on this create button, and okay, we don't see anything. Let's see the logs. Okay, so here you can see file saved successfully to iCloud. Now suppose if I try to, I will have to refresh this. Okay, so I'll just refresh this. Then again, okay, so this is private database, this is fine, and inside record type I'll select file storage. Let me try to query the records. Here you can see for the very first time we get this particular error. So if you try to read it, you won't be able to read it. So what you will have to do, again, this is just a one-time thing. Like I'll just move this so that you can see it clearly. I know so like there is an alternative to this. I haven't tried it. So instead of making it indexable, what you can do is, once a file is created, you get a record ID, you can save that record ID, and with the help of that record ID you can either read, update and delete. But then you will have to store your record ID on some server as well. I don't want to create my own server just for this. Some of you might think that okay, let's just store it inside user defaults, but what if the application is uninstalled? Then again it will create a headache for you. That's why I'm following this way. Again, this is just a one-time thing, so you will have to go to indexes, you will have to click on this plus button, and here you have to select file storage. Inside type, select queryable, and inside field, here you cannot select file, you will have to select record name. Now we have not created the record name field, it is present by default, and here I'll just type out record name and I'll click on add. Okay, now if we go to records and select private database, file storage, query records, here you can see our file is created. Now if I try to read it as well, here you, okay, so here is our log. I'll click on read, and here you can see hello coding with nobody. Now if I try to update it, okay, so file has been updated as well. I will try to read it again, and here you can see by coding with nobody. Now I will just delete it. So file was deleted. I'll try to read it again, and here you can see no content found. So the file was deleted. If you try to query records again, there is no file. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.